In fact, we have Calvin from England. He might have a comment about this. Calvin, are you there?
Hello, yes.
Hi, thanks for calling.
Yeah, just love the show, by the way.
Thank you.
All the way over here, it's great. Well, I didn't know the Pope's coming over here, but if he does, I certainly hope we do arrest him. It'd be quite funny.
Funny.
We hope you do.
Because that's why we have legal systems in our respective nations, because they're hilarious.
Yeah. Well, rule of law and all that good stuff.
Right. Well, I was originally calling about, do you remember the caller a couple of times ago, Ali, I think his name was?
Yeah.
He was saying that some Christians like to go evolution inspired Adolf Hitler to commit genocide and kill Jews and master the race and all that sort of stuff.
There is that claim, and I don't buy it, but there is that claim, yes.
Well, what I was getting at was evolution happens, but it's how you use something that happens. So take a knife, you can use that to carve chicken or you can use it to kill someone. Doesn't mean that we should not teach how to make knives.
Right. Right, and that was kind of my point to Ali, that although I'm not, this gets stickier if we want to talk about, say, guns and free access to like high-powered automatic weapons, right? Those physically exist too. Those physically exist too. But when my point is, when the cost is, well, you give up some beliefs that aren't true in order to prevent the misuse of those beliefs. Cost is way lower than when you say, somebody might stub their toe on a doorstop, therefore we're going to have a law that says we can't have doorstops. Those are two completely different cases.
Yeah, I would agree, because, well, there's no point saying you shouldn't teach evolution just because it can be used for bad. It can also be used for a lot of good.
And if you're going to, with evolution, those people that argued for oh God, now I've forgotten the term, tried to apply evolution to society.
Right.
Social Darwinism. Thank you. Those people are wrong. They're demonstrably, factually wrong in what is implied by the theory of evolution, and that can be argued on that basis. But when it's two groups of people with a great big book of multiple choice that is the foundation of both religious groups' beliefs, right, there's no real argument you can make that either side is right. It's all going to come down to their personal interpretations.
Or some sort of argument by popularity or something.
Both sides believe that their interpretation is the right one, but there's no way to actually, demonstrably prove that, where there is with things like, how evolution works. So,
right.
Yeah, I thought his analogy was very poor.
All right, cool. Well, thank you very much. Enjoyed chatting. Keep watching the show, and cheers.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you
See
for
if
calling.
you can find out about that attempt to get the Pope arrested.
I'll write to my local MP and give him a suggestion.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for calling, Calvin. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. How are we doing on time? All right. We've got Dylan in Morgantown, North Carolina. Hi, Dylan.
Hey. I was wanting to ask you guys how you deal with the people who are telling you to back off and just to let them believe what they want to, because I've had a lot of trouble with those people.
You've had a lot of people telling you to back off?
Yeah, and to just say, why don't you just let me believe whatever it is I want to?
The reason is because the people that believe those things want to get their way in government, and they want to get their way in law. And we've got examples in other countries of what happens when the religious powers get control of government and the law. And that needs to be fought if we don't want that to happen here.
And there's a more subtle thing, too, and that is beliefs inform actions. So if you hold something, if you believe something that's not true, you can't help but act on that eventually. And those actions add up to things that are not going to be good for society or good for that individual in the long run. It's a tougher argument to make. But as far as you being told to back off, I have to ask, sort of, are you kind of an evangelical atheist, or are you going after people? Are you
No, I'm not
rubbing people's
necessarily
nose?
going after people per se.
Okay, I had to ask.
Occasional argument.
So what can you give me the context of this sort of situation? Are you lacking social graces for this particular thing, or are you just being honest with how you feel and challenging people on when issues come up?
Yeah, I was just being honest with how I feel when these issues come up, and really I was just wondering how you guys deal with that. Okay, it was a matter of curiosity. And also I've got a couple other questions for you as well, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, before
sure.
you get to that.
I have one more comment about your first thing. I mean, there is such a thing as being a jerk about being an atheist, right?
Of course, yeah.
Just because you think that, I mean, everybody likes to be right, because being right or thinking that you are right is a very heady experience, and it can make you feel really good about yourself. The important thing, though, is to really be right, and then even then, there's such a thing as being a jerk about it.
So, and we're not accusing you, by the way. We're just.
But that line that you could cross between just being very concerned about the difference between fact and fantasy, and the other side of the line where you're just being a jerk, is not in the place where most believers think it is. They think that line is right as soon as you open your mouth.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that's not true.
That's true.
So
yeah, by all means, use your First Amendment rights, make points, be educated, these sorts of things. Go for it. We all have different styles. Jeff has one style. I have a different style. Yeah. Everybody in the ACA has got, even all our public figures. So that's part of the reason why we have so many co-hosts on this show, is because we do have different styles and different viewpoints and these sorts of things, and yours is just as valid. So go for it.
So what else did you have there, Dylan?
Also, this was a question somebody else wanted me to ask. In your experience, what has caused a person to deconvert? As in, what's most effective? Emotional appeal, logic, etc. What do you think causes people to deconvert?
I can take this.
Yeah, go ahead.
You might want to take a look at the testimonials area of the ACA website. There's about 10 or so people who have told their story about this is how I came to atheism, and nearly all of them are certainly, of all the ones that came from somewhere, like some belief, nearly all of them said, I started having doubts, I started asking questions, and over many, many years, often something like 10 years, I came to reject it all, and I'm happy and free now. And it's a long process. It's never an epiphany thing. If we have anybody writing the show saying, "Hey, you made me an atheist," it was really because they were pretty close to being an atheist to begin with. It's a long process, and it's very much an intellectual process, I would say.
Right.
So that would be.
Well, that was all I wanted.
Okay, Dylan. Thanks for calling, man. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, bye.
And we'll go to Leo in the UK.
All right.
Leo, you there?
Yeah, hi. How
Hi,
you
Leo.
doing?
Good. Good.
What time is it there?
Almost midnight.
Okay. Thanks for staying up with us.
Oh, no problem. You're
Okay.
But yeah, Jeff, I had a comment to you saying that the Catholics needed a break, as it were, because they don't necessarily all have elected the Pope, or the Pope isn't necessarily responsible for all of them. I wanted to make this distinction between the Catholic Church and, say, any other Protestant belief that doesn't recognize the organization as an intrinsic part of the belief. Whereas the thing that separates Catholics is that they believe that the Pope is divinely mandated through apostolic succession. In other words, from the first apostle to now, there has been an unbroken chain. It has been selected and chosen by God. The Holy Spirit sits on the bishops as they nominate the Pope. So this is a selection by God of who the person who will actually run and lead the church into the next generation. And anyone who follows that, the Catholic belief, accepts the Pope, I think, as the person who would actually lead them into what is right and what is wrong, and he's chosen by God. So if he's wrong, and if he's so horrific, then I don't think that any of them can stand up and hold a hand and say, yeah, that's okay, God isn't at fault.